My wife confessed she cheated before our wedding and hid it for 4 years. I still remember the days leading up to our wedding like they were yesterday. I was nervous, excited, and honestly a little overwhelmed. Marrying someone is one of those life-changing moments you think you can prepare for, but no matter how much you plan, nothing can fully prepare you for the emotions of that day. Standing at the altar, watching her walk down the aisle in that beautiful dress, I felt a mix of awe, love, and disbelief. Here was the woman I had chosen, the woman I had imagined a lifetime with, and she was finally mine. We had met a few years earlier through work, and at first, it had been nothing more than casual conversations in the office hallway. But over time, our conversations grew longer, our laughs grew louder, and the small gestures started to feel significant. She had this way of making everything around her brighter. A simple smile could change the mood of the entire room, and I found myself constantly wanting to see that smile. She was confident, smart, and beautiful, but not in a flashy, showy way. It was the kind of beauty that pulled people in without effort. I couldn't help but fall in love with her. The proposal itself had been simple, but perfect. I took her to a quiet spot by the lake, where we had shared countless late-night talks. I remember my hands trembling as I held the small velvet box, wondering if this was the right moment, if she would say yes, if my life was about to change forever. When she did say yes, tears welled up in my eyes, and I felt a happiness so overwhelming that it almost hurt. That was the kind of joy that fills you completely, leaving no room for doubt. The months leading up to the wedding were hectic, of course, planning the ceremony, dealing with family, managing work, but there was also this underlying excitement. Every detail of the wedding felt like a small celebration of what we had built together. I still remember laughing with her over seating charts, arguing over colors for the flowers, and stealing quiet moments together amidst the chaos. Those little moments were what I clung to, reminders that beyond the parties and the planning, this was about us. After the wedding, the first month felt like a dream. We were adjusting to married life, figuring out routines, and enjoying the simple pleasures of being able to call each other husband and wife. Every night, I would lie awake next to her and just watch her sleep, feeling a mix of gratitude and amazement. I couldn't believe someone as incredible as her had chosen to spend her life with me. Everything seemed perfect. It was during this honeymoon-like period that we decided to take a night away, just the two of us, to a city about an hour from home. I had booked a small hotel, thinking it would be a chance to escape the responsibilities of work and the distractions of home, to reconnect and enjoy each other's company without interruptions. I wanted this night to be memorable, a simple adventure before life returned to its usual rhythm. As we packed for the trip, I remember watching her get ready with a mix of anticipation and admiration. She chose a long, elegant dress that highlighted her figure in a way that made my heart race. There was a confidence in the way she moved, a glow about her that I couldn't stop staring at. I felt proud to have her by my side, and part of me couldn't wait to show her off, even in a simple bar or restaurant. The drive to the city was filled with laughter and music. We talked about everything and nothing, memories from our dating days, jokes that only we understood, our plans for the coming year. I remember glancing at her through the rearview mirror, catching her smile in the reflection, and feeling a wave of love that made me squeeze the steering wheel a little too tightly. Everything seemed perfect. Checking into the hotel, I carried our bags while she moved around the room, unpacking small things, adjusting the pillows, making the space feel like home. There was a warmth in her energy, a sense of familiarity that made me relax completely. For a moment, I let myself think that this was exactly how life was supposed to feel, calm, loving, and perfect, as we got ready to head out for the night. I remember noticing how she carefully chose her accessories, the way her hair felt just so, and the subtle perfume she wore that always seemed to linger in the air long after she moved. She looked stunning. I wanted to tell her over and over, but I also wanted to keep this night, just for us, a quiet escape before the world intruded again. Little did I know that this night, the night I had imagined as perfect and innocent, would be the night that planted seeds of doubt and betrayal, seeds I wouldn't fully realize until years later. Everything I had believed about that night, about her, and about the people around us was about to be turned upside down. As we stepped out of the hotel and into the cool night air, I felt excited, expecting laughter, drinks, and maybe a little dancing. I had no idea that within a few hours, I would witness something that would haunt me in ways I never imagined. The night felt alive, full of possibilities, but also, unknowingly, full of secrets waiting to surface. That's where our story begins. A night out that I thought was just a getaway, but would soon reveal a side of my marriage I never saw coming. After leaving the hotel, the city felt alive, buzzing with neon lights, the faint hum of traffic, and the distant laughter of people enjoying the night. I felt a surge of excitement. This was supposed to be our night, just her and me, away from responsibilities, away from the stress of work and family. The kind of night where we could just be ourselves. She looked incredible. The long dress she chose clung perfectly to her figure, the low-cut top drawing attention in a way I noticed immediately. I could feel my heart skip every time she laughed or turned toward me, her hair catching the light just right. Part of me was proud to be with her, to have her beside me. Part of me, I admit now, was a little nervous. There's something about seeing someone you love draw attention from others that makes your stomach twist in ways you don't expect. When we walked into the bar, the smell of alcohol, leather, and faint perfume hit me. The place had a low hum of conversation, a soft jazz track playing in the background. I found us a small table near the corner, wanting some privacy, but still a good view of the room. I ordered a whiskey for myself and a cocktail for her, trying to keep the mood light, joking about the city and the long drive. She laughed at my poor impressions of the local accents, and for a moment, I forgot everything else. Then he appeared. I didn't notice him approach at first. He blended in with the crowd, casual, confident. But the moment he stepped closer and hugged her, I felt it. Something was off. My wife introduced him as someone from her company, a colleague from the head office. A small part of me shrugged it off. Work friends greeting each other isn't unusual. But there was something in the way he looked at her that made my stomach knot. He lingered too long, smiling, asking questions about her married life. And I noticed his eyes. They didn't just glance at her. They lingered, sweeping over her chest in a way that made my skin crawl. I tried to focus on her face, her laughter, anything to distract myself, but it was impossible to ignore. She shifted uncomfortably, her body language subtly moving away from him, and I could feel her tension. I wanted to speak up. I wanted to pull him aside, ask him what the hell he was doing. But I stayed quiet, trying not to ruin the evening, trying to keep the mood light. I watched as he finally left, and she suggested moving to another bar. I agreed, trying to suppress the unease I couldn't shake. But it wasn't over. A few minutes later, he returned with drinks, and the way he carried himself made my heart race with a mix of anger and confusion. He hung around, taking every opportunity to look where he shouldn't, all while smiling and pretending it was casual. Across the room, I noticed his friends, leaning in, whispering, smirking. I realized with a sickening feeling that they were sharing jokes about her, my wife, without my knowledge. I remember feeling a rush of emotions, jealousy, protectiveness, shame, anger. I wanted to confront him, to say something, to defend her. But I didn't. I wanted to preserve the night, to keep it about her and me, even as my mind raced. Eventually, we finished our drinks, and she insisted we move to another bar. I thought it was just her way of keeping the night fun, oblivious to the reality that the man we had just seen was someone with a history I had no idea about. That night, I left the bar thinking nothing more of it. A strange encounter, yes, but nothing worth dwelling on. Years later, the truth came crashing down. Out of the blue, she confessed. I don't even know why she chose that moment, after so much time had passed. The questions flooded my mind. Who, where, when, how? The answer was him. The man from a bar. 4 months before our wedding, at the company Christmas party, she had gone to his room and slept with him. She had let him touch her, let him have her in ways I had only begun to imagine that night in the bar. All those glances, all those laughs from his friends, they weren't just casual, they were evidence of something I would only learn years later. I sat there, stunned, replaying that night in my mind over and over. I thought I had been protective, attentive, aware, but I had been oblivious. Every small gesture, every glance, every laugh from across the room now carried a different weight. What I had assumed was harmless or crude was actually tied to a betrayal I could barely comprehend. Even now, thinking back, I remember the mix of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak. How could someone I trusted completely, someone I had chosen to spend my life with, hide something so significant? How could I have been so close to the truth and yet so far away? That night in the bar, the drinks, the laughter, the city lights, all of it now feels tainted by what I didn't know. I replay every detail. The way he hugged her, the way she shifted uneasily, the look in his eyes, the smirks from his friends. It all haunts me. I feel a mixture of rage and sorrow, a realization that trust, once broken, leaves a scar that doesn't fade easily. It's one of those memories that follows you, a constant reminder that appearances can be deceiving, and that sometimes the truth is far darker than what meets the eye. It's been a few months since she confessed. I won't lie, the first few weeks were the hardest. Every memory of our early marriage felt different now, as if someone had rewritten them while I wasn't looking. I kept replaying that night in the bar over and over, remembering every detail. The way he had looked at her, the laugh of his friends, her uneasy smile. Every tiny gesture that had seemed insignificant, then now carried a weight I could barely bear. I found myself questioning everything. Why did she wait so long to tell me? Did she ever think about what would happen if I found out later like I did? Was I completely blind all those years? It was exhausting, mentally, emotionally, and even physically. I could feel the stress weighing me down, making it hard to focus on work, on simple tasks, on even the things we used to enjoy together. We tried to talk, really talk. I needed to understand, not just the actions, but the reasoning, the thought process behind them. She said it was a mistake, a single moment she regretted, something that had happened before we were married. But even hearing those words didn't ease the hurt. It felt like the ground had shifted beneath me, like the foundation I had built my life on suddenly had cracks I couldn't ignore. I began noticing small things I never used to. The way she laughed at certain jokes, the way she looked at certain people, even the words she chose during conversations. My mind would automatically check for any signs, any hints I might have missed. I caught myself being overly cautious, overly analytical. It was as if I was retraining my mind to spot potential betrayal at every turn, even though I knew it wasn't healthy. Some days, I would feel like we were getting through it. We would sit together, talking about normal things, our jobs, plans for the weekend, or small jokes that only we understood. On those days, I would almost forget, if only for a moment, that the secret had existed. We laughed, we shared quiet moments, and for a while I could pretend everything was like it used to be. But then, almost without warning, the pain would come back. A memory, a glance, a passing thought. And suddenly I was back in that bar, watching him hover over her, seeing the subtle ways he had violated the boundaries I thought were sacred. Anger, betrayal, and sadness would all hit at once. Sometimes I felt furious at her for hiding it, furious at him for what he had done, and even angry at myself for not noticing sooner. At night, when the world was quiet and we were alone, I would lie awake thinking. I would recall the small details, the city lights reflecting off the bar window, the way her dress had moved, the laughter from across the room, the way she had shifted uneasily when he approached. My mind would fill in gaps I hadn't noticed before, replaying the scene in slow motion. It was painful, but also impossible to stop, a loop I couldn't escape. I also found myself reflecting on our relationship in ways I hadn't before. I wondered if there were other moments I had taken for granted, other times I had assumed trust where there had been secrecy. It made me more cautious, more aware, and in some ways, it changed how I interacted with her. Not in a controlling way, but in a way where I constantly checked my assumptions, my feelings, and her actions. Even now, months later, I still think about that night in the bar. It's not just a memory, it's a shadow that lingers. Every time I see someone I don't know in a crowded room, or when I hear laughter nearby, I can't help but imagine scenarios, playing through possibilities in my head. Life moves on, as it must, but the memory is there. A constant reminder that even in moments that seem perfect, there could be truths hiding just beneath the surface, waiting to reveal themselves when you least expect it. Despite all of this, I'm trying to move forward. I've realized that dwelling on what happened doesn't change the past. I've started focusing on the present, on rebuilding communication, on finding small ways to reconnect with her in ways that feel genuine. Some days are better than others. Some days I still feel the weight of betrayal pressing down, but slowly, ever so slowly, I'm learning to live with it, to process it, and to accept that even broken trust can coexist with hope, if only we're willing to work for it. It's been over a year since she finally told me the truth. Looking back, I realized just how much that confession changed me, our marriage and the way I view trust. At first, I thought the hardest part was over once I knew what happened. But in reality, it was just the beginning of a long process. A process of understanding, accepting, and learning to rebuild what had been broken. Over the months, I've had to confront my own feelings, anger, hurt, betrayal, doubt, and figure out how to process them without letting them take over my life. There were times I wanted to shut down, to retreat into myself, and stop caring about anything. But step by step, I started to see that healing doesn't come from ignoring the pain. It comes from facing it head on, even when it's uncomfortable, even when it feels unbearable. We've been working on our relationship every day since. Communication has become more intentional, more honest. I've learned to ask questions without assuming the worst, and she's been patient in trying to reassure me, even when I struggle to accept her answers. There's still a shadow there. Some days it feels heavier than others, but it's no longer suffocating. I've come to understand that forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, and trust doesn't magically return overnight. Both are choices you make repeatedly, day after day, action by action. I've also learned a lot about myself. I've realized that being blindsided doesn't mean I was naive. It means I was human. I trusted, I loved, and I believed in someone who mattered to me. And even though that trust was broken, I've discovered that I can rebuild, grow, and become stronger from it. I've learned to notice the little things that matter, to appreciate the moments of honesty and connection, and to carry forward the lessons from the past without letting them define every single day. Looking at our marriage now, it's not the same as it was before the betrayal, and it probably never will be. But it's different in a way that feels real, grounded, and cautiously hopeful. We've faced a truth that could have destroyed everything, yet we're still here, still working to make this relationship stronger than it was before. I don't pretend the past doesn't hurt, and I don't pretend the future will be perfect. But I do know this, we're trying, and that counts for something. If there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that love is complicated, messy, and often painful. But it's also resilient, capable of surviving even the deepest betrayals if both people are willing to face the truth, own their mistakes, and fight for what they want. And as for me, I've learned that even when trust is broken, life goes on, lessons are learned, and sometimes the hardest experiences shape you into someone stronger, wiser, and more aware of what really matters. All right, guys, that's the end of this story. I hope you found it as intense and eye-opening as I did. Don't forget to subscribe to Reddit Cheating Stories for more stories like this, and I'll catch you in the next one.